Hey friends, welcome to China Coaching. Rob here. And this video is all about the Grace Hopper celebration. GHC 2020 is coming up. We're going to share incredible tips to help you prepare, make the most of it, and help you get job offers. Check it out. My friends, thanks so much for tuning in. Waru is going to share her experience from GHC last year, give you some great ideas how to prepare, and even the things that helped her get her job with PwC, which she's about to start. So let's go ahead and meet her. Waru, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, my name is Waru. I'm from India. I came to the United States in 2018 to pursue my master's from the University of Texas at Dallas. So I recently graduated in May, and now I'll be joining PwC in a few days. So I'm really excited for that, and I'll be grateful to share some tips with you so that that can help you prepare better for GHC.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for sharing. Congrats again on your full-time job, and that's going to start soon. I know you've been waiting a long time for that to start.
Yes, it's almost been a year since I got this offer. So now, as the joining date is approaching, I'm really getting excited.
Great. Well, congrats. And everyone, don't forget, at the very end, we've got a special bonus tip, which is really important for GHC. So don't forget to watch till the very end. But here at the beginning, we're going to talk about making a plan. So Waru, tell us, how can people prepare and make a good plan leading up to GHC?
Yeah, so GHC is a huge event, and it's not just about the career fair. I mean, definitely it's a great opportunity for people to go and bag offers there, but it's more importantly a platform for making connections, networking with people, making friends, experiencing technology, and knowing where you belong in technology. So there are a lot of events that happen simultaneously with the career fair. The career fair has basically fixed time slot, I guess from 9 or 11 a.m. in the morning to 5 in the evening. And then there are simultaneous events going on. So it's really important for everybody to have a proper plan, a proper agenda for themselves, because as I said, it's a huge conference and it may get overwhelming at times. So what I did for my preparation is that I prepared two lists. GHC basically has their agenda. I'm not sure if they have released it yet or not, but do check it out on their website for their agenda. So what I did, I prepared two lists. One list for top companies that I wanted to target, and the second was the top events that I wanted to attend. So there will be huge number of companies, almost 400 to 500 companies, and you cannot go to every other company, right? So it's important to be prepared. So what I did some research online about the job roles that different companies had going on their career website. And that helped me narrow down the list of the companies that I wanted to target. Because see, everybody wants to work for big organizations like Microsoft, Apple, Google. But it's not really important that they have the role that is fit for you, that, I mean, you can justify. So I've narrowed down a few roles from different companies and I made the list out of it. And I made the top company list that I wanted to target on the first day, then companies I wanted to target on second day, and then on third day. And same with the events. So I can take a break between going to companies at the career booth, and I took breaks in between to attend those events. So events are basically for half an hour to 45 minutes, I believe. And there are really good, inspiring talks. So I attended one of the keynote sessions, and you know, Rob, I met a girl there. She was an undergrad in one of the Ivy Leagues. She was a coder and a dancer. She taught young girls how to code and dance. And those young girls developed computer graphics and used that in their dance performance. How amazing is that? Yeah.
Very cool.
So, yes. So Grace Hopper is a place where you will really feel what women empowerment is by seeing all those great girls doing great stuff out there. So two things: make a plan of top companies you want to target, and then top 10 events that you want to attend. So that's how you plan about it.
Awesome. And you said it's also good to plan for the resume. What were some resume things that people can do to have that ready and really powerful for at GHC?
So GHC has their own resume database, which recruiters do look out for. And what I have heard is that the companies get access to the resume database based on the type of sponsorship they have. Like some companies get it at the earliest, some get at the later stage. So it's really important for you to put forward a good resume. And I think you can just upload one resume, like you cannot upload multiple resume for multiple job roles. So it's important to have your best skills in that resume. So I had a few points about that. The first thing is that get your resume critique for having a good resume. You can ask your friends who are working professionals, your teachers, mentors, your career management center at school. And I'm sure there are a lot of resources available online. There are a lot of people ready to help you on LinkedIn. You can just go and ask them to critique your resume. So when I had my resume critiqued, I had a few points. So the first thing is that having your resume in a concise manner. If you clutter your resume a lot with a lot of information, nobody's going to read it. So it's best to have bullet points and one-liner bullet points, or maximum 2 lines. That's important. The next thing is that when you are including your work experience, it's really important to put on the impact that your work created. Because you can just go and write, I wrote SQL script for doing this, but what did those SQL script do actually? What impact did it create in your project? For example, quantifying it, basically. So for example, you can write, I designed a script to automate web application that increased the efficiency of something by this percent. So that's going to make an impact, quantifying your work as much as possible. And then the third thing was that I was targeting for data analytics and data science roles. So I know that the qualities, the skills that are important are having good knowledge of Python, SQL, and then Tableau. So these were some of the key points that I had to include in my resume. So I made sure that if I've written Python in my technical skills, I include or justify the implement of Python in either my work experience or the projects that I have done. Like I show the recruiter that, okay, I have used Python in this way and it has created this impact. And then the fourth thing was that to have your GitHub profile, like if you have a GitHub profile, a Tableau public profile, or any website which showcases your work, include that in your resume. Because, Rob, I remember that I was at one of the companies talking to them, and I told them that I'm interested in Tableau. And the first question they asked me was, where is your Tableau public profile on your resume? And I didn't have it. So that was a mistake that I committed. And I want people to learn from that. So if you have these websites and these public profiles, make sure you include those, because I know recruiters do go to your website and to your profiles and check it out.
That's a great way to stand out. And those are great resume tips.
Yes. And the last thing about resume, very, very important, do not include anything which you cannot justify. Because the recruiter is going to ask you from your experiences that you have written in your resume, and if you cannot justify it, it's just going to make a bad impression.
Don't fake it. Awesome. Now we know that Grace Hopper is crazy networking. It's a party, it's crowded, the energy is nuts from the stories I've heard, but you can actually network and connect with people beforehand. So go ahead and give some tips about how people can pre-network and pre-connect before even getting there.
For this, I would say that do not just wait for the actual GHC career fair to start so that you can talk to recruiters, and start applying right now. Go to the career websites from the company and start applying. And I know that everybody, the recruiters and people who are going to attend GHC are going to be super active on LinkedIn. So first thing you can do is make sure you follow the hashtags. I think it's hashtag VGHC20 for this year. I'm not really sure, but something like that. So follow the hashtags. And I've seen recruiters already posting about the open job application. Like I saw Discover the other day posting the open positions that they have. So go ahead, apply online and connect with those recruiters. Now, when you connect with those recruiters, make sure you include a personalized note.
Yes, always.
Yeah. So tell them that you saw this job role and you wanna talk about it more, connect with them, network with them, and see if you can convert that into an interview at GHC, because this has worked for a lot of my friends and they had interviews scheduled ahead of the event. And the next thing you can do is, suppose you are connecting to a recruiter who is going to GHC, and that recruiter is not from your field. Like that recruiter is from say data field, but you're not targeting data field. So you can definitely go ahead and ask them that, do you know someone from my field who is attending GHC? And I'm sure that recruiters will be happy to help and redirect you to the right person. So definitely take advantage of LinkedIn, go connect with people, network with them. I mean, don't be selfish. Don't just directly go and say, hey, I need a job. Say them that you are say them that you are attending GHC and you are really excited and this is your first time, and have a conversation, like a general conversation, and then tell them that you have these skills and they have this open job position and you think that you are really fit for that position. That's what I did and a lot of my friends did. So that really worked for us.
Yeah, and you've got those common connection points about the conference, so it's so easy to justify the connection and conversation.
Yes. Yeah. Now, if you have a conversation beforehand, you can actually go to the conference, and if you meet the same recruiter, you can say, "Hey, we had a conversation earlier," so it'll be easy for them to connect with you.
Yeah, you'll stand out.
Yeah, and then also there are groups on Facebook and WhatsApp. People are making groups for preparation for their respective field. So go ahead and join those groups as well. That'll be helpful for you to prepare, to be better prepared for your interviews and everything.
Yeah, I've already seen lots of connection going on in the Facebook groups and WhatsApp groups, and you can really create some momentum with other attendees and get special access to things, so don't miss out on those conversations. Now, real quick, we're going to do our chai question for this video. We want to ask you guys, what advice do you guys have for virtual conferences? Let us know in the comments. So this is the first time GHC is going to be virtual, a very different thing, but we'd love to get your thoughts on, Waru, any idea about virtual conferences or a virtual GHC? What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I have never attended any virtual conference yet. So I know it's going to be different and the whole feel of the event is going to be different. The only thing I believe is that like when you're in the queue for the career fair, you are going to get a time slot maybe of 2 to 3 minutes in which you have to put forward your elevator pitch. So I would say that make sure you practice your elevator pitch a lot of times so you can summarize your experience in that given time slot. And rest, I'm not really sure how the virtual thing is going to work. So people, please comment down below and tell us your experience about virtual conferences.
Yeah, one idea I had was have your links ready. The link for your LinkedIn, your website, your your resume, kind of have hot links and maybe even make them trackable. And that way you can see people clicking on them, because you'll be in these chat rooms, you'll be talking to a recruiter. You want to have your links ready that you can just send right away so people can find you on LinkedIn, your dashboards or whatever you want to showcase to people. Have those ready, have them trackable, and that'll help you be more effective online on the virtual conference.
Yeah, that's really a great tip.
All right, so let's wrap it up with this, Waru. You're there, you're at the conference. Give a few tips on what you learned about talking to the recruiters, doing the interviews, and how you interacted there.
So the first thing that everybody does when they're at the booth is introducing yourself. So state out your name clearly, and then whether you are a student or a professional. And if you're a student, then whether you're looking for an internship or full-time position, and in what field. And if you're a professional, you can say that you have this many years of experience and you're looking for these job roles. That makes it easier for the recruiter to assess you well, to put you in particular slot that they want to analyze you. Then you can ask, because I know that the companies there at GHC, especially the big ones, they come in teams. So they have recruiter for different fields. So if you have come across a person who is not from your field, you can definitely go and ask, hey, do you know somebody who's from data field? And they will redirect you to the right person. That happened with me. I met a cybersecurity person, and then she redirected me to the data person, and that's how I talked to them. So first do that thing, because if you're going to talk to the right person, they'll be better able to assess you and put you in the right slot. And then second thing is about your elevator pitch. So tell them about your general work experience. Like when I attended GHC, I was working as an intern at NTT Data. So I told them that, hey, I'm an intern at NTT Data, and my job is to make predictive models out of the healthcare data. And then instead of talking about my regular job role, I went ahead and talked about my achievements. I believe when you talk about your achievements, that impresses the recruiter more. So I told them that my company, my project was looking for an automated machine learning platform. And I did this competitive analysis of various tools available in the market. I made models on each of them and then compared them on different data science capabilities and presented that to my product owner. So that really created an impact, and that counts as one of my achievements that I did in my internship. And the recruiter was really impressed, and I think that was also one of the reasons I got an interview there. So make sure you put forward your achievements. Don't just go and talk about your job role. Yeah. And now when you are done telling them about your experiences, you can go ahead and ask them about whether you have an interview. So like when I went to the booth, I told them, hey, I'm looking for these positions. Do you have any open interview slot for that? And the companies that had open interview slots, they put me there, and I had my interviews the next day. So I think I'm not sure if that's the right way to do it, but that really worked for me. And I got interviews at companies by doing this, like asking them directly whether they have interviews or not. So that was one thing. And another thing is that don't just expect to have like regular conversation at the booth. So when you're at the booth, if the recruiter is actually interested in you, they can ask you questions then and there. I remember I was at the Target booth, and they started asking me machine learning questions. Like they were basic questions only, but they asked me technical questions there. So be prepared for that also. Like you cannot just have like regular conversation. The recruiter may be interested in your work, and they may ask you further.
And what's your idea about bringing and showing your experience at the booths?
Yeah, I carried my some of the dashboards that I created in my academics. So I carried that, and usually the recruiters do not have a lot of time because they have to talk to a lot of person. But definitely you can ask them that, hey, I have my work with you. Would you be interested in having a look at it? So you can definitely go ahead and show your work. I didn't get a chance to show it in the GHC, but apart from that, the other interviews that I had, like outside GHC, I definitely showed my work to the recruiters, and they were really impressed.
And that's great because it's proof showing that you can do what you say you're able to do. It backs up your resume, and that's great.
Yeah.
So Waru, what is the big bonus tip that you want to give at the end that people really understand when going into a big, crazy event like GHC?
So there are two things that I want to put forward. The first thing is that GHC is a huge event, as I said. There will be a lot of people, lot of competition, and it gets overwhelming. It gets stressful. So I would say that it would be better that you do not ask your friends that how many interviews you have. Suppose you ask a friend of yours and she says, oh, I've got 3 interviews. And you'll be like, oh, she has got 3 interviews. I don't have any. That's going to stress you out, and you may lose your calm. So it's important not to indulge in such kind of conversation. And if you come across a person, you know that she has this much interviews already, it's important to take that as an inspiration and ask them like what strategies did they follow to land up in that interview. But don't panic. That's the most important thing, because it's a huge event and people are gonna get interview calls. I know people who have not gotten a single interview at GHC, so it was really disheartening for them. But you have to look out for these things, and you do not have to stress yourself out. This was one of the big advice that I got from my mentor, who told me about GHC. And so this is one thing. And the other thing is that it's a huge platform to get internships, the full-time offers. But as I said, there were people who did not get a single internship or interview call. So if you are among one of those persons, I hope you do not end up in that category. But if you do not get any interview call or any job offer at GHC, it's absolutely okay. Remember, GHC is more about having good connection, having good network with people, and that connection, that network is going to help you at a later stage. Because if you are an impressive candidate, trust me, the recruiters are going to remember you. And if you reach out to them at a later stage, it's really going to be helpful to you. So it's not the end all or be all of your life. It's okay that you don't get a job there, but try your best, put your best foot forward, and I'm sure that you are going to end up with a job offer.
Yeah, no, that's very great. Just encouragement and advice. Waru, thanks so much. I've learned so much. I mean, people who watch this are going to be so prepared. Thanks for sharing your experience, and thanks for telling your story.
Yeah, definitely. It was a great experience talking to you, and I'm always happy to share my experience, because the more you share, the more knowledge you gain.
Definitely. And friends, if this was helpful, give a big like, thumbs up to say thanks to Waru for helping you guys out. And don't forget to connect with us online. We'll have her LinkedIn in the description, and be sure to subscribe to Chime Coaching. We're going to have more helpful videos. We've got a few others out there as well about GHC, so don't miss those. and we want to connect and help you guys succeed in your cross-cultural journeys. Thanks for joining us at Shine Coaching. We'll see you guys next time. Cheers.